Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Back to another episode of In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. I'm your host, Dave Larson, along with Storm team partners Marcus Pfizer and Brent Gervais. And we are here live from Coaches Kolaches in Clive, Iowa, here on 100th Street. And here, for those of you who are watching live, I've got sitting next to me the CEO of Iowa State men's basketball, Conrad Hawley. Conrad, hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
This is a big day today in the world of Cyclones athletics, isn't that?
It's a huge day.
Who you got?
Iowa State all day, baby.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Conrad, you are a member of the men's basketball team. Talk a little bit about that. However, you came up from the football world, right?
Yep. I grew up playing football and basketball, and then out of high school, I went and played quarterback at the University of Kansas. And then after a year, I transferred to Iowa State, and I've been walk-on the basketball team ever since. This will be my third year.
And now you are widely known within the Cyclone world as the CEO, and that stands for?
It stands for Chief Energy Officer.
And that was a title bestowed to you?
That was bestowed to me by our head coach, TJ Altenberg.
By Otts himself. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So we were talking a little bit earlier about the expectations for this year's men's basketball team. Now, did you sort of have that expectation when you were walking into the program as coming in and transferring as a walk-on?
Honestly, when I came to the program, I didn't know anything about the basketball side. And I still don't know much about basketball, but they just told me that it's a super disciplined program and they care about hard work and they get up early and they, just grind, and there's a super low ego culture. And I was like, I just want to be a part of that. And so coming in, I didn't know anything about. I didn't even know they had gone to the Sweet 16 until somebody told me. I just wasn't aware. So yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And we were talking a little bit earlier too about we brought up Marcus Pfizer, and so you had talked a little bit about the practices that you've been going through this year in comparison to prior years. You want to describe that for a little bit for the audience?
I just think that year to year, our expectations continue to grow as far as how good we're going to be and what we're expected to do. And I think this year our coaches have done a great job of really pushing us and getting everything they can out of us, and really just trying to make sure that we are just razor sharp focus. Just everybody's coming for you. You got to take all these things in lightly and take them in with a humble mindset, and then just go attack it.
This is something TJ is really impressing upon all the players this year. Hey, you're right. The expectations have been raised, and we're going to raise our level within the practice facility.
100%. I mean, the way that our guys have been attacking practice and workouts and conditioning and getting extra shots up. Like this morning, I think I came in to eat breakfast at the facility, and I believe there was 6 or 7 guys who have already done with the workout on a Saturday morning. I mean, most kids lay in bed or had a good time the night out. Our dudes are in bed early and they're up early in the morning on a Saturday getting shots up.
Well, and as a former student at Iowa State a few years ago, I don't think I was up much before 12:30 on a Saturday. I'll be honest with you. So the dedication to get up and get to the practice facility by 8 o'clock on a Saturday off season, I think, is a testament to the effort you guys are putting in, which is awesome. Now, Marcus Pfizer, who's not here today, but that was something that he had talked. He talks a lot about the expectations each year that were being raised, and it was interesting to be able to see that there's some similarities between that 2000 team and the experiences that he went through. And it sounds like you guys are going through some of the same things that in terms of effort and hard work and raising the expectations.
Yeah. I mean, anytime like last year when we were kind of sneaking up on people, and I don't even think our group knew that we were capable of what we accomplished until really the end of the year when we started just rolling and we were like, hey, we actually can play with these dudes. And then now it's like when everybody's just looking to get you your best shot, and we're not sneaking up on anybody this year. So our attention to detail and the way we practice and even the way we speak within our facility is just all taking the next step.
So again, we're live today for the special episode of Inside the Storm, and we're at Coaches Kolaches in Urbandale. I think I said Clive earlier. Conrad Hawley's here. You're signing an autograph. You're kissing babies. We've already seen a couple of fans stop by. Thank you, and to be able to meet you. What's it like to interact with nerds like us that just love Iowa State athletics and to be able to meet you?
I mean, I take it as just an extreme honor because it's pretty awesome, the fan base that Iowa State has. I mean, it's just the fans are so kind. And I even remember my first year before I even ever played a game, I was eating at Applebee's and somebody came up and like asked to take a picture of me, and I was just blown away by that. The fact that people know who you are, they care about you, and they're extremely kind, and they just want to have a positive impact in your life, and you hope to do the same for them. So it's pretty much a blessing.
Well, and I was telling Chris that when you walked up, I'm so used to seeing you on the sidelines with the hair growing and the jersey on.
Yeah.
You're a little bit nondescript today.
Yeah. It was getting hot this summer, and was doing a lot of workouts outside, going for runs and stuff like that. And so decided to cut the hair. It was getting a little annoying, and then I just, when I'm out not at basketball, just try and keep a pretty low profile if I can, and just blend in.
Okay. One of the things that I think TJ is well known for is his medium shirts.
Yep.
What's his workout regimen like? Is he working out next to you guys when you're in the gym?
No, he doesn't work out next to us when we're in the gym. But it's funny, we're in the building. Every guy's in the building between 6 to 6:30 each day, and every time you walk in the building, you got to walk past the weight room to go get your loop for the day. And he's in there working out 6 days a week. And I said, we had guys getting shots up this morning. Well, he was in the weight room lifting this morning. So
that's awesome.
He lifts. He works extremely hard, and he shows like he's just the type of leader that's like, I won't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And it's pretty easy to follow a guy like that.
That's awesome. So again, this is the big weekend. Cyhawk Game is today at 2:30 on CBS. You come from that experience of the football world. You guys, from the basketball perspective, you play some favorites and have some games, maybe just some bets internally. And I'm not saying financial bets here. We're not talking about placing any bets, but you have a little bit of camaraderie with members of the basketball team in terms of who you're cheering for, and what's that look like? I know
a couple of football players, and I try and say hi to them and see them when I see them at the eating center. And then I know a couple of our guys on the team do. And then I would say there's a majority of the guys on the team are all big football fans. So, you got the big noon kickoff today. I believe it's Texas, Michigan. I'm sure some guys are watching that right now. And then, we'll all watch the game today. We got a little cookout going, so we're going to be excited to do that. And then later on tonight, we'll watch that game. So it's going to be, we love football, and we love watching it and stuff like that. And we love the NFL, and it's good.
Now, when you were at Kansas, was the Kansas State game similar to the Iowa State game in terms of just hype and everyone talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I hate K-State. Like I hated K-State when I was at KU, and I still do now. So I mean, they're by far my least favorite team in the country, and so it's definitely when I was there, we just wanted to beat the crap out of those guys. And what stunk is, I mean, I don't think Kansas football has beat them in 15, 20 years. So it wasn't much of a rivalry as it is here. And I know Iowa State and Iowa is not as lopsided, but it's definitely, I mean, anytime you play a rival, there's just something about you that they don't like you, you don't like them, and you're just going to go try and beat them.
So knowing that the dislike maybe between Iowa and Iowa State fans, and you've been around long enough now, the last couple of years, to hear some of that.
Yep.
Does that infiltrate you as an athlete? I mean, is that something that as you're preparing to play an in-state rival, is that something you guys as players are thinking about, or is it really just another game on the schedule?
I mean, really, I think it's, if you've never played in the game, it's just another game in the schedule. But after the game is over, you understand what it's like. So, like, before my first year and we got cranked by Iowa at their place, I was like, okay, we're just going to go play our rival and be over. And then after that game, you learn quickly you just don't like them. And just for whatever reason, you just have a disdain against them. And so I think once you've experienced it, it becomes a real rival to you. And so, like, for me, today's a big day. I hope Iowa State just goes out there and gets a victory. That'd be huge for our fan base and the community. And then it's the same thing for our guys. And even like Taman, like, he's an Ames, Iowa kid. Like, he just does not like the Hawkeyes.
Right.
And it's like anytime they come up, he's not going to say anything nice about them. So
is he sharing that as you're leading up to that game?
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys constantly having
Yeah.
meetings, and is that something that he brings up?
I mean, we eat twice a day as a team, and then we have a meeting every day as a team, as well as practice, workouts, and lifts. And so during that whole week, and it's normally like 3 or 4 day lead up from our previous game, it's like there's no other talk than just beating them. And it's like, whatever. I mean, yeah, you're going to talk about that with every team, and you're going to be dialed in with every team in order to win. But it's just, when you play a rival, it just means more.
All right, again, we are live here from Coaches Kolaches in Urbandale, and here we've got the CEO, Conrad Hawley, who is available and signing autographs and kissing babies and saying hello to everybody. And two, we should also point out that Dan Douglas is here with Green Beret Realty, and the first 20 people that come on site, he's buying your kolache for you. So stop on by here to Coaches Kolaches and get some free food. While you're here, go ahead and give you a chance to meet Conrad Hawley, who's here with the men's basketball team, the CEO, Chief Energy Officer. And one of the things I think that you bring that perspective to is from a football perspective. What's the team looking at here as we lead up into today's game? What are the things that as a former quarterback, what are some of those things that the team is preparing for? And really, from your perspective, what did you see in last week's game that you think that the offense is really going to be focused in on in this week's game against Iowa?
First off, I was just so happy to be at the game last week, and we sit in the, like, I believe it's the southwest corner of the end zone, but first play is a big play, which was awesome. And I just love that change of pace, because, I mean, I remember my first 2 years, the first play of the game is normally just 3 and out, 3-run plays, which is not fun. And then the second play was a big fade ball touchdown, and we were right there in the corner getting to celebrate. And so we were all smacking his head and stuff, and what a great time that was for our guys. But when I think about the football side and I think about what's coming up today, I think that as a quarterback and as an offense, you're just primarily focused on how do we take care of the ball. And then when big plays come, we have to take advantage of it. And then we're going to win the field position battle. Like, okay, we're always just going to constantly move the chains. We're going to play with house money the whole day and not shoot ourselves in the foot. And then when it's time to get aggressive, you capitalize. And I think that if our offense does that today, and then our defense does what our defense has perennially done for 5-6 years, it'll be a good day.
So you're a proponent of be aggressive early and often.
Yep. I mean, there's the best form of defense is good offense. And so it's like if you're the team who's not playing from behind, you're playing with house money, and it's a good thing for you.
All right, Conrad, it's so good to have you here at Coaches Kolaches in Urbandale. I'm going to turn things over and bring in Brent Gervais.
Yep.
Good to see you, my friend.
Appreciate
All right,
it. Thank
good
you.
to see you. All right, so we're going to switch things around a little bit and bring in the proprietor of Coaches Kolaches and my co-host on Inside the Storm, Brent Gervais. Brett, it is good to see you, my friend.
Glad to be here.
We got a big game coming up today, and
I'd like to think so.
and you were busy. You're up at 3 a.m. midnight cooking barbecue.
All night. But yeah, I mean, that's part of it. It's the nature of the beast, man. You got to do what you got to do to get the job done.
I know.
Like we will today.
That's,
We're going to do what we got to do to get the job done.
so the CEO of the men's basketball team was just sitting here, and he was talking about he wants to be aggressive on offense right away the entire game. What's your take of today's game?
I think that has to kind of be the take. Iowa's really good defensively, so we have to attack early and often. Any opportunities, we have to really be smart with the football, I think, today. But, I mean, our offense shows a lot of promise. So I think we have a chance, a really big chance offensively to do some really good things. I guess my biggest concern will be defensively, how well we hold up against the run, just, based on what we saw last week.
One of the things I found interesting, and John Walters talked about it earlier in one of his shows, that the Iowa State offense has out-yardaged Iowa by 100 yards each in like the last 4 or 5 games, which I found interesting, and it really has come down to turnovers. That seems to be the big sticking point. Is there any concern with gassing out the defense if we do take a more aggressive approach and we have more 3-and-outs, that we gas that defense? You look at that North Dakota game, and they have that 12-minute drive, and it seemed like they constantly had third down conversions.
Yes.
Is there any concern with maybe having too short from a time of possession standpoint, where we're not holding on to the ball long enough, and we're just gassing out the defense, and Iowa takes advantage of it?
That's always a part of it, but at the end of the day, we all play football. You know what I mean? And the first game was always the toughest one in terms of conditioning, because at the end of the day, you only get in shape by playing football. And I think last week, having those extra reps on the field, 12-play drives, like that just conditions us a little bit more. So I think they'll be a whole lot better this week from that aspect of it. But, that's the nature of the beast, man. It's like, can you wear the other team down? You know what I mean? So it can be a small concern, but, I think our defense always bends but don't break. And that was kind of the mantra last week.
Well, and in John Heacock we trust, right?
That's it. He's the man. I mean, the guy's just a genius, man. Seeing and the reality is, it's two of the best defensive minds, honestly, in college football, in my opinion, on the same field today. So that's why these games are never high scoring. They're always low scoring. I mean, Iowa's offense has been terrible, but defense is still on point.
So I think Chris Shipley took the over at 36.5. What would you do? Would you take over or under?
Over on 36.5. I take the under.
You would? Okay.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those. It's always a defensive game, no matter what. These kids get up.
So he's giving you grief. And Brett, I trust though, because he did play the game. Like, he knows the inside out of defense.
Yeah, it's always defense, man. I don't see they're not going to put up 40 on us. That's for sure. So, and I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, in my opinion. I think we win by 4.
Oh, okay.
Win by 4.
So what's the score? You 21-17?
That'd be over, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be over.
That would be over. So
17-13?
let's go 17-13.
Woo!
Yeah,
That is a low scoring game.
2 touchdowns. That's all right. The field goal, I think.
Any wrinkles that you expect out of the defense, knowing that we're going to be down some linebackers still, and that seems to be a problem area. Last week I think we were down to playing second and third string for the most part.
Yeah.
Caleb Bacon's injury, I think, really throws a monkey wrench into everything.
Pressure, man. I think he'll be really smart with pressure. Adding it any kind of way, because that's his kind of his motto. I mean, got a new quarterback in Iowa, and the offense is going to be different. So I'm sure the more pressure you put in his face, the quicker you make his reads, the more likely you can't force a turnover. So I'd say pressure will be kind of on our side today, and I think he takes more gambles than normal, in my opinion. But when you're down, you almost have to. You can't wait for the game to come to you. You got to get active.
I'll be curious if Cade McNamara, how mobile he's going to be, because you're right. If you put some blitz packages in, or you bring him in from the corner, he's got to be able to escape that if they're going to be successful. So I think that's some good insight there.
looking at it from the, inside the game, that's what it's going to take. We got to pressure the quarterback. If you can pressure the quarterback, get him off his spot, and make him have to think, that helps you out. Sometimes over.
Well, and he really had a pretty easy game last week too.
Yeah.
So, hey, you take somebody who, let's be honest, he's just coming. He's still recovering from that ACL injury. That to me is not a 6-month process. I mean, that's an 18 to 2-year process, really, to get truly healthy and more mobile. And I don't know that he was necessarily the most mobile quarterback to begin with. A little bit of mobility, but he wasn't Michael Vick back there either. So.
Right. I mean, he's just enough to kind of, pick up some first downs if, it's 3rd and 6, right? He's not one of those deadly guys like a Michael Vick, like you said, but it takes a lot from a mental aspect. I think, that's where that, 2-year kind of window, that 18-month, 2-year window that you talk about comes into play. But, yeah, man, you speed him up. I mean, the quicker you speed him up, we have DBs on the back end that can make plays really long, really rangy. Mm-hmm. So I think if we can create some sort of pressure early, I think that'll be a recipe for success.
So again, we are live from Coaches Kolaches in Urbandale, and Brent Gervais is here. He's been up all night cooking barbecue. I can smell it in the back. He's got a fresh group of kolaches that are waiting to be purchased. In fact, Dan Douglas with Green Beret Realty is here and helping to sponsor today's show. And the first 20 people that stop in get free kolaches on the house. Thanks to Dan Douglas with Green Beret. And so one of the things that you bring that perspective of, you played in Iowa City. What was your experience like in the night before and the morning of playing in this big game?
Really bad memories, personal opinion. I didn't like the pink locker rooms. They had the pink locker rooms. And my last time playing in Iowa City, I got hurt the end of the second quarter, so I missed the whole second half. First time I had ever missed any significant playing time. And they had kind of illegal blocked me. So one guy held me up top, kept me engaged, and the other guy kind of took my knees out, so to speak. So I overextended my knee, so I was out of business. So I had really have a bad taste in my mouth in Iowa City. I went there.
You know, been a 2004 game?
No, that was in 02, 2002.
02, okay.
2002, 2003. I'm sorry. It might have been 04. Sorry. Yeah, might have been 04. 04, yeah. So, yeah, 2004. That would have been the game. But yeah, man, I went with my son maybe this past year for a recruiting visit, and they got beat pretty bad by Wisconsin. So it was good for me to be back in there in that instance to see him get beat. But,
so when you're walking in those pink locker rooms, is this something players you guys are talking about, or you hear some teams going in and they'll put down some wrapping paper around it just to hide it? But is that something that you guys talk about?
I mean, they say it's a thing, right? Like it can calm you down. You know what I mean? I think that's why they put it in there, to create some sort of calmness in you, because they don't want you wired up going into the game. So, I mean, I think we had some tape in there, also, but sneaking in, you kind of see it, and so it's just one of those tactics. I mean, it's all about the advantage when you play sports, no matter where. So, I don't know if it's the same. I'm hoping it's changed, but I mean that part of it kind of sucked. But it was, it's always the pregame jitters. It's always the man, all right, we got to take care of business tomorrow, envisioning plays before they happen, and thinking about all the film you watched, and imagine yourself making plays so that when opportunity comes, you can just pull up and pull out.
Now, last week or a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the time of day that you prefer to play your games. You're a morning guy.
Morning guy all day.
What's this 2:30? Is this sort of an in-between where, hey, it's acceptable, I prefer mornings, but 2:30 is second best?
2:30 is good, yeah. I'll take 2:30. As long as the sun is out, I prefer it that way. Okay. I don't know, I mean, for me, I don't like to play with food on my belly, and I hate waiting around all day. Like, it's the waiting around that kills me. You know what I'm saying? So night games, as cool as they are to play under the lights, I hated them because it was like a literal all-day wait. And I was like, I'm anxious, like I'm ready to get to it. You know what I mean? So prepare myself mentally, didn't sleep, so I'm ready to take out all my anger and transgressions on somebody. But so waiting all day just sucks, in my opinion.
Well, I have a feeling that this is, in order for Iowa State to win, I think we've got to be aggressive. I think you got to take the over if you expect Iowa State to win. I'll be curious to see if Iowa State comes out and somehow the mindset's totally different. We just decide to run the ball and not throw it. I just don't see that happening. if it's going to be an under, I just have a feeling Iowa that plays right to their strengths.
It does, yeah. I mean, it does, but it's all about the team that hangs on to the rock at the end, man. As long as we don't let go of the ball and don't make any mistakes from that aspect of it, I think.
So it's going to be a great game today with the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State Cyclones in Iowa City. 2:30 kickoff on CBS. Again, if you're in the area, please stop by. We're at Coaches Kolaches here in Urbandale off of 100th Street. And Brent has been working and making kolaches. We've got 3 kolaches that are here, and then he's got a barbecue special going on, right?
Yep. Just doing our old smokehouse, man. So got brisket, pulled pork, chicken, sausages, loaded baked potatoes, which you won't find any better. But gosh, sandwiches, doing it all today. Making it a big day.
So stop in for your tailgating needs or for your home
That's it.
party needs. This is a place to be. I think that probably comes to a wrap on this edition in the Side of the Storm. We're going to bring in Dan Douglas quick here from Green Beret Realty. We'll see if he has a minute. Dan, you got a second?
I suppose.
All right. So we've got great sponsors of In the Side of the Storm and Three Beards Media. And this is one of our newest sponsors here, Dan Douglas with Green Beret Realty.
Yeah,
Welcome.
nice to meet you, Dave.
I heard you on Old Man Strength. Was it earlier in the week? And you had quite the story. That was interesting to hear.
I have lots of stories, lots of travails, lots of mistakes I've made in my past.
I didn't realize that this was a situation where you and Chris maybe didn't necessarily see eye to eye, and then you had a conversation and come to find out you have more in common than what you thought.
I'm pretty convincing. Chris is actually he was wrong, and then we talked, and he realized I was right, and then we're friends now. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just come across very bombastic, maybe a little abrasive sometimes on social media, and I definitely was putting off Chris and many others. I met Alex Gookin here today, too. He had blocked me at one point for the same reasons Chris had. So Chris Williams still has me blocked, by the way. You can do that. Unblock me anytime, Chris, just for the record. No, I was pretty abrasive. It's, social media is not the best time to have conversations. And, when we disagree on certain things, you can definitely find yourself being flamboyantly, abrasive to other people. And it's just, not the way we should be communicating. And as I've grown and matured and, changed my ways maybe a little bit, I can be a little less that way, maybe
gray hair does that to you a little bit. Yeah. And I think what happens, you get older and the gray hair gets thicker and you go, I don't care anymore. And then you go off maybe on the other end of
there was a little bit of depression though. So you're not allowed to grow facial hair in the military unless you have like a religious exemption or something like that.
Yeah. Did you say my religion cyclone sports?
No. So I, for 2 decades though, couldn't actually grow facial hair. I'd be on vacation or leave is what we call it in the military. And I'd have 2 weeks where I'd try to grow in some scruff or something like that, but never enough to actually see what the beard would look like. So once I retired, I was like, I'm going to grow this in and see if I can do facial hair, which I think it looks okay. But I was a little bit depressed when I got enough hair to realize how gray it already was. I was like, my first attempt at facial hair, and it makes me look like I'm 10 years older than I was. And I'm like, dang it, So, but I'm going to keep it. It makes me look like I'm wiser.
So usually for No Shave November, Movember is what we call it.
Yep.
I will grow something out. I'm kind of the same way. It makes me look way too old. And then people say, oh, it looks good. No. Shaving it off.
Yep. No, the real ticket was when my wife was like, I kind of like it. And I was like, okay, it's staying then. I liked it. She liked it. We're keeping it. So
tell us about Green Beret.
Being a Green Beret was fantastic. I talked a little bit on Old Man Strength about, my teammates and how invested you get into those guys and how committed you are to one another. But really it was a cool walk too, where when you're trying to be elite, at something you're doing, you want to be the best that you can be. That was a step. I have a saying in the military, you kind of can gauge the quality of the soldier, the sailor, the airman or Marine that you're working with based on the level of volunteering that they've done. So usually to become a Green Beret, you've had to volunteer at least 2 or 3 times to get to that level. And so you start by, volunteering just to join the military, and then you have to volunteer to go to like airborne school, and then you volunteer to go to selection. And that's the minimum. A lot of the other guys volunteer to go to other trainings and stuff like that. But by the time you get there, you're dealing with a level of somebody who's willing to commit to a process that allows you just to be great, right? Allows you to be the best. And so you're surrounded by other guys that are trying to do that, or other women who are trying to do that stuff in the special operations community. And it just holds everybody to a higher standard, helps you guys to meet higher levels of success and be better at things than you otherwise would be. And Man, it was great. It was a good experience. I got to see a lot of things and got to be exposed to a lot of different cultures and, I don't know, deployed, get to deal with a lot of different personalities and stuff. And it was great. It was a great learning experience. I don't look back on that with anything, but just, I don't know, honor as a sense of service. And I really felt like I had kind of reached the epitome of what a military career could be while I was there. So,
And now you're taking that mindset into the business world with the realty, right?
yep, that's the goal, right? So you build networks, you're trying to help other people out. And the way we do that in real estate, honestly, is you've got a dream. And how do you want to get there? You want to own a home. I think the statistic is like the most wealthy people, if you have a net worth of over $400,000 at any point in your life, you are a homeowner. And I can't remember the actual number it is, but I think it's like 80% of those who have a net worth over $400,000 own their home. And that's, you're building equity in your house. So a lot of people don't understand that process. While you're paying rent, you should be paying a mortgage if you can afford it, right? And so sometimes you can't financially. You got to wait a few years before you can qualify with that lender to get that mortgage. But once you can, it's time. Buy a home. You're going to build your equity. You're going to set you and your family up for greater success down the road. It's the way to go. It's just good value in terms of everything you can have, and then finding the right place, making the right decision, the right home for the right family. And that's where I step in. And my goal is to try to help you do that and help you reach those goals and find those, markers along your road to success and help you get there. So,
And if someone is looking for a home, whether it's to transition out of rental into ownership, or maybe they already own and they're looking for something different.
yep, people are upscaling. You have more kids than you have rooms to put them in, or you have the kids are out of the house, you're empty nesters, and you want to scale down. People who are owning homes are always looking for new homes too. And I think the average is about 5 to 10 years. Somebody stays in a home before they look. But yeah, I mean, anybody out there, right? If you're looking for a home, even Hawkeye fans, I'll help you guys buy a home too. But we can get you guys going and help you find what you're looking for. And if you reach out early, we can actually be a lot more cautious and take our time and really find what you're looking for too, because you can kind of wait for that thing to come available, look for that perfect home, and then you can go. I can help you find it tomorrow too if you want. We can go buy a home tomorrow. But if you reach out early and we start that process early, then we can kind of build that relationship, build that rapport, and be much more successful.
But probably not today between 2:30 and 6.
Well,
That's
if you reach out, text, email, or call, you're going to have to leave a voicemail if you call. I will get back to you guys, though. I will reach out, and I can help you as soon as I have a chance. So
cool. Well, we are adding Marcus Pfizer, the Marcus Pfizer. Marcus probably missed us. I'm going to We had on the CEO, Conrad Hawley, earlier today, who's has already come out, and we've shared his thoughts on today's game. We are, 3 hours from kickoff? I'm like 3.5 hours from kickoff. First, Dan, thanks for helping. Thanks for supporting us in the podcast, Three Beards Media. This is a great event to be able to have out here with Conrad Hawley joining us, and got people coming in and grabbing some kolaches on their way, and Brent's out back cooking barbecue, and people are going to be stopping by to be able to take that home for their parties. Got a big game. Marcus, what are your thoughts on today's game?
58-0. Cyclones.
68-0.
Cyclones. hey, I mean,
bringing it. Hey,
I mean, that's that's what I want to go with. Realistically, I know it's not going to be 6-8-0, but I would love for it to be 6-8-0.
I'll take 68-0. I appreciate
wouldn't
that.
we all?
Yeah, but I'm excited. Definitely excited for the game. You guys are up a little bit earlier than we are out here in the West Coast, but starting to move around. Getting the kids situated, because those couple hours I can't be disturbed for sure. So excited.
So, Dan, what is your prediction for the game? We got Brent. Brent was 20-16, I think, type of score. He was wanting to go with the under on that. No, 17-13. He wanted to go with the under, which is last time we checked was 36.5. Chris Shipley took the over on the 36.5. Dan, what's your prediction? Marcus is saying 68-0.
Yeah. I hope, Marcus. I hope. And Cyclone victory, right? That's what you were hoping
Absolutely.
for. So over in Cyclone 68-0.
Absolutely.
Man, head and heart are a different place. I said earlier this week on Old Man Strength that I think the Cyclones lose another close one. They play it too close to the vest. That's where my head's at. My heart tells me everything's trending in the right direction. Campbell's going to take a couple risks, and maybe we're going to find ourselves on top with an early lead, and the over is going to hit, and the Cyclones are going to win by a touchdown, 10 points, right? So what's that look like? I don't know. Let's say, 30-20, right? Let's go there. 30-20 Cyclones. That's my heart. My head, man, it's going to hit under, and we're going to lose by a point or two, and I'm just going to be depressed. But let's hope I'm drinking in celebration tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch the whole game with my Deion Sanders.
Oh,
I got these for the Cyclones.
Marcus has the blenders. He's going to watch the game with.
Got the blenders. I'm ready. This is one of those games that I'm either gonna have a extreme headache. I'm probably gonna have a headache regardless because I'm gonna be so into it and so focused. But man, you say it's 3 hours to kickoff time. My wife just asked me what time the game was, and I told her about an hour. I'm way off.
Yeah,
I'm way off.
2:30 Central on CBS.
So it's 12. Okay.
So I'm going to say I'm going to go with the barn burner theory. I think that we've got to be able to move the ball. I really like what I saw against North Dakota. I felt like we slowed the pace down. We only had 48 offensive plays.
I know.
That's
why my heart's convincing me to back off my early prediction, because as the week's gone on, my heart started buying in like, hey, more offensive possessions, more points, but I just don't believe it until I see it. That's depressing, right?
And like Eric Heft said on our show earlier in the week, Marcus, got to be able to control the turnovers.
Yeah.
Like if we can minimize those, I like our chances. I'm going to go 35-20 Iowa State.
Nice.
Like,
I hope that's nice.
I'm going all in.
A convincing, solid win.
And if we lose, we lose. I'm going all in at a win of 35-20. I think we're due. But Matt Campbell's 1-6 against Iowa. I think that burns him.
Okay, it's game day. You're right. My heart is going to overrule my head. We're winning easily, 30-20, if not more.
And you're going to look around. I've not begun drinking any Rebelton yet, so
I haven't either.
I'm clear-headed.
It's at home.
That's what's going to be.
Where did he get that one win at?
2 years ago, wasn't it? In Iowa City. Because I believe that Iowa State has won 3 out of 5 in Iowa City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Campbell's 1-6 overall.
Yeah.
And Iowa's won 8 out of the past 10.
Yeah.
So the numbers, you can play with them as much as you want to. Got some work to do. All right, so that's another edition of In the Side of the Storm. That's very special. If you can still make your way, I think we're out here for another 20 minutes or so here at Coaches Kolaches in Urbandale off 100th Street. We've got the CEO, Conrad Hawley, here, who, believe it or not, Marcus called you the legend, which I don't know that we can disagree with.
Nope.
And if you have a chance to play it back, he talked a little bit about his experiences that TJ is raising the bar of expectation this year for the men's basketball team in practices, saying, hey, yeah, expectations are higher. We're ranked at number 10 for a reason. And if you want to stay there, if you want to improve your stock as the season goes, this is the effort that you got to put in. Really talked a little bit about comparison to what you went through when you're going through the Eustacia years at your junior year that led you guys to the Elite Eight. I think there's some nice comparisons that there's some promise leading up. I like what I hear coming from the basketball team. Obviously, we got the big Cyhawk game today, and we hope to see you guys out here. Feel free to again stop by Coaches Kolaches. Thanks for watching and listening to the special edition of Inside the Storm. We'll see you on our next show.
Go Cyclones.